Rocket Manuch with Jimmy B out here at Twin Peaks Camelback. John Skelton joins us now, former Arizona Cardinal quarterback. And he joins us now on the right to the guest side. John, Rock Manuch, Jimmy B, how you making out this Thursday afternoon?
Hey, I can't complain, guys. I'm enjoying the sunshine.
So you're not into the combine, right? You're not wasting your time watching this garbage, are you, like Manuch is?
I don't watch it, and I really don't understand how anyone else can watch it.
Exactly. So I'm like, he's like, oh, we're going to bring John Skelton on to talk about the combine. I'm like, well, he's probably not even watching it, Manuch. You're the only one that watches it. So we need to talk about something else, man. Salary cap, you know.
I'm not the guy who in the off season I'm watching all the moves and checking the draft boards and free agency. Like when camp starts, when guys are reporting at the end of July, then I'll tune back into football. But for now, it's basketball and then baseball season here soon.
John, what can these guys see? More important, I know there's a lot of tangibles they can see. They watch the tape. What itch are they trying to scratch to make sure if they draft any one of these individuals that they've checked all the boxes?
I think it's the interviews, Manuch. I think sitting there, across from head coach, offensive coordinator, all these different guys that are involved in one way, shape, or form in the decision goes a long way. And
we lose them.
Those are valuable, but then also just walking around the hotel, maybe the day before you're running your 40, you're walking around the hotel, you're meeting with your agents, a GM from one of the teams comes by and introduce yourself. Your agent knows everyone, so you can say, oh, that's so-and-so, and that guy works with the Jets and what have you. So the value, I think, is working the room and being able to talk to those guys.
So if you were to do it all over again and you're going to the combine, what would you do different if you would anything at all? To that point right there, I'd be like you. I'd be anybody that wants to talk to me or doesn't want to talk to me, I'm talking to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in that mindset where I'm there for a job. I'm there to work. I don't want any distractions. And my agent would call me down and say, hey, we're going to talk to the GM for the Cardinals. He's down here. And I'll be like, I got to get to sleep. We're running our 40 in the morning, and I got a drug test at 5 a.m. I got a bunch of other stuff. And he's like, no, this is more valuable. You need to come down here and do it. And even when you're talking to like regional scouts, you might talk to the guy who, at least at Fordham, was the Northeast regional scout for the Cardinals. And I'm like, I've seen this guy several times at the facilities in the Bronx there. But you never know, that guy down the road, he becomes a GM, he becomes a player personnel guy. So all these connections, they're not just short term. Some of them are long term down the road as well.
Hey, did you have an idea, John, where you might be drafted? I mean, and then knowing that, going to the combine or having your pro day, that you felt it would only benefit you from participating whatever they wanted you to compete in?
Yeah. So when I was coming out, they had told me anywhere from third round to undrafted. So small school, didn't play the best competition in the Patriot League. So there was really kind of that wide ranging. So for someone like me, it's you do everything. You showcase everything you can. All these small school guys that, maybe they played 4 years at one school. They weren't in the draft portal or in the transfer portal. This is their opportunity to say, hey, I'm on the same level as a Cam Ward or a guy like that. And I'm just going to show off everything I got. And my year, Sam Bradford was the guy. He was the number 1 overall pick. Everyone knew it. Coming off of a Heisman. And he's like, what do I got to do? I don't got to throw. I don't have to do anything. And he was there just for the interviews. He was there because he wanted to talk to all the teams. It was almost a foregone conclusion that the Rams were going to take him, and they did. And a guy like that has more to lose in participating than a guy like me coming in and participating in everything and trying to showcase.
All right, that's my follow-up question. Now things have changed dramatically, and so many players, particularly players that are going to be first rounders or a high second rounder, choose not to participate. They'll go and do the interviews, but that's it, and they will wait for their pro day. Is that the way of the world, the way that you see it going forward? Is it going to stay like this?
I do think it's going to stay like this. I think I think the combine's already kind of making a transition where it's more so guys that we're not sure of. Someone like a small school guy or a guy that transferred that doesn't have a lot of film. Maybe he's played 1 year, he's coming off of injury in years past or transfer portal, whatever the issue is. It's going to be an opportunity for those guys that are trying to make a name for themselves in the later rounds, in my opinion. I would say third round and beyond, because once you get past the first 2 rounds, I don't care what a mock draft says. No one out there knows who's going to be the first overall pick in the third round. That's just never going to be guessed properly. So I think it's an opportunity for guys that are bubble guys that are like myself, anywhere from third to undrafted, to make some names. And I remember coming out, it only takes one team to like you to get drafted, and it takes 2 teams to like you to get drafted higher.
So with a lot of the interviews, workouts, did the Cardinals interview you more so than any of the other teams, or did they tip you off and you be the guy for them, or could you not sense that at all?
No, I had I had an interview with the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Jets, like the official interviews. We sit down and we meet with everyone. I thought all 3 of them went well. None of them said, hey, if you're there, we're going to take you. No one kind of put that out there in the world. And frankly, I'm kind of glad they did, because I would hate to be the guy that said, it's going to be this team. It's going to be this team. They told me they liked me, and then only to get disappointed, or, for someone to be told, hey, you're a third round guy, and then, all the way to the 5th round or undrafted. That's got to be a stab in the back, I would feel, if you get that told by a team.
So what was the oddest question out of those 3 that you might have had, Cardinals, Jets, or Bengals? Can you remember?
Say that again, Mitch.
What was the oddest question you might have had from those 3 teams that kind of caught you off guard, and you had to kind of go into that deep Fordham education to make that answer?
I didn't get any of those bizarre questions, what would you do or anything like that. I did talk about being the son of a coach. My dad growing up, he coached me in everything. So I did emphasize that a lot. That's what my agent coached me to say, like, yeah, make sure you say your dad was a coach. That way they'll see you as a coach's kid and not just a quarterback. So it's like every meeting I was giving the same spiel. Yeah, I grew up El Paso, Texas, humble beginnings. Both my parents school teachers, my dad being my coach. It was a great way to grow up. And it was kind of the same repeated thing over and over.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting to watch a lot of these guys. I'll be watching the quarterbacks and on Saturday and watching it all happen. I'm sure it brings back some memories one way or the other for it. We appreciate you taking time. Oh, one last thing before we let you go. I don't know if you have a janitorial service or anything one way or the other. You can go help your boy Michael Bidwell to make sure the locker rooms are cleaned up properly. and you got a catering service. They can get some decent food over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, can you bring in a weight machine?
Jeez, I'll say this, for whatever the grading system is, I don't know how. I've seen the letter grades and stuff, but I don't know what the actual survey asks the players and stuff. But it's definitely better than when I was there. I think my transition, my time there was right when old man Bidwell was stepping down and Michael was stepping into his role. And I think from then to now, it's come a long way. So if they would have had this survey 15 years ago, it would have been interesting.
John, as always, thank you for making some time today. We'll let you get back to the NFL Network and the Combine.
Enjoy it, Manuch.
I will, buddy.
Yeah, somebody. John Skelton joining us here on Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B. You can follow him on Twitter or X at John Skelton19. A little hats off to Scottsdale resident Jake Knapp today, shooting a 59. I think he's only like the 13th person or something like that to ever shoot a 59 or lower. Incredible. It's just amazing. Scottsdale kid. Well, not Scottsdale kid, but lives in Scottsdale. Yeah. So, Jake, is this your boy?
No, it's sorry. Frankie Sappin's my boy, who's also playing. He shot 2 under, which obviously is not that great compared to him shooting 11 under. But I have met Jake Knapp. He practices at TBC. Great guy. Hell of a story.
So you clean his clubs?
I don't. No,
okay.
You never clean the pros' clubs.
Really?
Never touch them.
Wow.
No.
Really?
Okay. Do you carry the bag?
No.
Really?
No. You don't.
So what do you do then?
Pros don't touch them.
He just shows up and he parks the car.
No, they don't do that there.
I'll clean your clubs, but I won't clean your clubs.
Yeah, you better.
Saying a lot.
Yeah, if you're getting 10 days off, you
Well,
better
they
clean his
don't
clothes.
get dirty because they don't get used. Coming up, we will get into some football talk, some real football talk, as the United Football League's second season has been hit with a hiccup. I'll tell you what that's all about. Plus, the revenue share numbers are out for the NIL for Georgia. It's a pretty big number. We'll get into that next. It's Rock Minutia with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.